So I'm holding the relic in my hand, and I'm thinking about, will I be able to effect a cure? When I thought of that, I thought that reminded me of the booklet I lost. And at the precise moment I thought the booklet came into my head, I heard a sound behind me, and I turned around, and the booklet had hit on the floor the moment I thought of the booklet. I didn't see it fall from anywhere. I don't know where. It hit in the middle of the floor.
What
I
do you
mean,
mean? What do you?
those,
Okay, wait.
I'm just standing in the middle of my room facing one way, and then when the thought of the booklet came into my head, I heard something behind me,
Okay,
and the booklet hit on the floor behind me,
right next to you, in the middle of the room.
right next to me. I've seen the shroud change
Hmm.
people's lives. It's changed my life. I've had some mystical experiences that I go into in my first book, if people want to check that out on Amazon, called Wrapped Up in the Shroud: Chronicle of a Passion. After
Well, now I'm
my
curious.
own
What are these
oh,
mystical experiences?
okay. Well,
just whet our appetite for the book.
okay. In 1986, I went to my first Shroud conference. That's where I met some of the STERP scientists for the first time. So there were 7 scientists or researchers that gave talks. 5 of them thought it was authentic, and 2 thought it was a fake. But the 2 that were there actually disagreed on how it was done.
Mm.
Okay. So remember, you got all these skeptics saying, oh, it was done this way, it was done that way. But there's no consensus among skeptics. Nobody knows how it was done. There's theories, but even the skeptics don't agree on their theories. Okay. One of the skeptics was Dr. Walter McCrone, who was a Chicago microscopist. And he had been saying since 1980 that he thought it was a painting. And he gave a talk at the conference in 1986, and lo and behold, he regurgitated his painting theory. The Associated Press ran an article about the conference after it was over, and they gave top billing to Walter McCrone and his painting theory, and made it look like this was the newest finding on the shroud, when in fact it was already 6 years old at that point. So the article appeared in my paper at home. I was furious with the way the article was handled because it was very misleading. So I wrote the letter to I wrote the editor. They admitted that the story wasn't very good. The day I wanted to write the letter, I had a whole bunch of things going on, and I remember having to do something that I didn't want to do. I wanted to write the letter, and I was going into my room to write it, and I heard a voice tell me to go do that thing that I didn't want to do, and it was an internal voice, which I later learned is called a locution, which is sort of like a divine communication that is coming from the outside. And I knew I could it wasn't an audible voice. It was just sort of like, it's hard to explain unless you've experienced, but it was a clear inner voice with a clear communication. And so I went, and as much as I wanted to write that letter to the editor, I did what the voice told me to do. And because I did, I ended up running into the regional vice president of the big radio station in St. Louis, KMOX Radio, which can be heard in Canada on a good night. I told him about the article. He says, "Well, we can put you on the radio about it." He says, "In fact, we were gonna interview Walter McCrone." So he gave me a guy's name, and I called him, and he had McCrone on, and we ended up debating. And I was pretty green media wise at that point. I had never done TV or radio. This was an example of me getting a communication, which I considered divine. And because I obeyed it, I ended up doing a radio interview, it's recorded in St. Louis, but then it's broadcast all over the country, syndicated.
Hmm.
So that's one
And you're
example.
calling
And
this
then,
mystical, right? I mean, that doesn't sound too mystical to me, but maybe
well,
difference in terms.
in the regards that it's a locution that I consider divine, I don't know if it's full mystical, but it's at least semi mystical, I thought.
Yeah, but you didn't have
Um,
it wasn't like a dream or a vision. You
no,
just sort of heard a
no,
voice,
but it,
and you
but
listened to it,
yeah,
and you went and did it,
yeah,
and something really great came out of it,
yeah.
which
And I
seems
have to think,
sort of coincidental.
I don't know about that. I don't. I think I would call it more providential or
Well, I'm saying
orchestrated.
it seems, yeah, from a naturalistic perspective, very very coincidental.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if anybody want to says that, that's their right. But the next one I had at the time, around that time, my oldest nephew had a brain tumor, and I had
Mm.
what I believed what was an actual shroud relic. It turns out both Jackson and Dr. Adler looked at it and said it was actually just a piece of the backing cloth. But at the time, I thought it was authentic, real small. I mean, the glue was bigger than the piece that was in the reliquary. um, but I had one of those, and my nephew had a brain tumor at the time. I was going to visit my nephew in the hospital, touch the relic to his head. I know what could it hurt, right? The day I was getting ready to go to the hospital, I was thinking I had a book called little booklet called The Holy Shroud and Four Visions,
Mm.
and it recounted the visions like that four nuns had compared to the shroud. And I had lost the little booklet, but I wasn't concerned because I had found the larger book that the booklet was condensed from. The day I'm getting ready to go to the hospital, I get the relic out and I'm thinking about touching it to his head, and I'm thinking about the theology of affecting miracles through relics, and
Uh
which
huh.
is I would
Do you
say
mind if I
that
ask what your theological background is, or what are you? Are you Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox?
I consider myself an unchurched Christian.
Confused, as a lot of people are, not just the Protestants or whatever else. Yeah, a lot of people are just confused about theology.
So I'm holding the relic in my hand, and I'm thinking about, can I will I be able to affect a cure? Or can it help cure them?
Mm-hmm.
Which sort of is in the realm of mystical theology, I would think you would say. And when I thought of that, I thought that reminded me of the booklet I lost. And at the precise moment I thought the booklet came into my head, I heard a sound behind me, and I turned around, and the booklet had hit on the floor the moment I thought of the booklet. I didn't see it fall from anywhere. I don't know where it hit in the middle of the floor.
What
Now,
do you
me,
mean? What do you?
those
Okay, wait. So in the back up a second. So you're sitting in your room. Is that right?
I'm in my room.
You're in your room. Where are you in relation to the Or are you sitting in like the corner of the room?
I'm just standing in the middle of my room facing one way.
Okay.
And then the thought of the booklet came into my head, I heard something behind me,
Okay.
and the booklet hit on the floor behind me,
Right next to you in the middle of the room.
right right next to me.
Not like near a dresser where it may
No,
have been
not near a
sitting and then.
bookshelf, not near no. I don't unless I had taped the book to the ceiling and forgot that I did it. I can't explain it. And I can tell you I probably didn't
And this is
tape the book.
you're not telling the story for views.
What do you mean for views? I'm just telling you a
Are,
true story.
yeah, this is what you saw and experienced
Yeah.
legitimately.
And
Okay.
and yeah, and to me that was the way I explain it is what that was God's way of saying, yeah, mystical theology is valid because the relic reminded me of the booklet which I had lost, and then the booklet literally hit behind me when I thought of the booklet. So then that's connected with me thinking about relics possibly
Uh huh.
affecting a cure.
Okay.
I
So
know
what
that's not a
happened?
super huge miracle, so but
Well,
it was.
it's yeah. So what happened next?
I brought the
What
relic
happened
to
with?
my Yeah, I brought the relic to the hospital. I touched it to my nephew. Now, he eventually was healed, but I won't say that that cured him. It could have been simply the doctors that cured him. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't like the doctor said, "Oh, this is incurable, nothing can help him." I mean, it was the sort of tumor that can be removed and healed.